Xbox on.
Game on, baby! Wow!
Don't make a girl a promise you can't keep.
Let's do this.
All right. Hey, everyone, and welcome to the Party Chat podcast. I am this week's host and back after a long wait, I guess. I don't know what you guys call. Uncle Jessy, a.k.a. No, it should be the other way around.
Yeah.
Clay. Hey, man, it's been a long day for me. It's been a long few weeks for me. Been busy traveling for work, so finally have some time now to jump back on the pod with the boys here. And with us, as always, is the lovely man from Scottsville, Ross. How are you doing, brother?
Scottsville, Arizona. Yep, that's me.
Scottsville.
I couldn't think of anything off the top of my head. And with us as well is the deliciousness of the cheeses.
Hello. That was probably the worst intro we've ever done.
Oh, yeah.
Lord and savoury snack.
That is how I'm addressed nowadays, by the way, yeah.
You'll notice if you guys have been listening for a long time, I think I did the first few episodes, and then we very quickly realized I should have no business doing the intro to this show.
It was after Stein, not Steen.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah.
So guys, last night or Saturday night I was recording last week on Xbox, and I did a little shout out to Josh, and I, no joke, recording that screwed it up probably 5 times in a row.
Oh,
I was like, how am I still screwing this up?
we have to get him back on again soon to talk about State of Decay now, seeing as he's the big State of Decay man.
Yes, for sure. So let's get right into things. What's everybody been playing? Ross, what have you been playing, man?
Well, to just go with the interview later on, I'll talk about it in the interview. I've been playing I Am Bread.
Is it crusty?
That's the first of many puns of this episode.
Yeah, Ross, you're going to promise me you don't use any puns when we get to the...
I promise you right now, I have not written down any puns for the interview.
Okay, great. I'm going to take that. I choose to accept that completely in blind faith.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. May or may not be true. Other than that, I have been playing Overwatch.
That's different for you.
Yeah.
I've sort of got into competitive Overwatch and leveling up. That is great fun. Well-deserved Game of the Year for a lot of publications last year. And
competitive Overwatch? That's a thing? People play that game?
Yeah, we want to rank up. Yeah.
I think Rhys and I are the only ones still not to play that game.
Well, jump on. It's a good time to do it. There is never
Is it free to play yet?
To play some Overwatch. No, it's not free to play. It's not Battleborn.
Call me when it's free to play.
Yeah. But other than that, that's about it this week. Busy week at work, so I've only been playing Overwatch and I Am Bread.
Very nice. Rhys, how about yourself, man?
So, I've only been playing one game this week, and it's probably not a game that a lot of you have been playing, but that game is Pit People.
What?
It's in preview, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's a preview game, yeah.
Yeah, it's the new game by the Behemoth. For those who don't know who they are the guys responsible for Alien Hominid, and also for BattleBlock Theater, and also most famously for Castle Crashers.
That's right.
And this is their new game, and it is awesome. My girlfriend and I played it, but we sat in the house and played it all Sunday. We didn't do anything except play this damn game. It is utterly addictive and captivating. I mean, it's hilarious because it's the Behemoth, and they have a really wicked and twisted sense of humor, and they've got Josh Stamper back to do the voice, and he's really funny. But for those who don't know the game plays, well, it's a little bit like Final Fantasy Tactics crossed with Pokemon.
Sounds like a good game then.
Like, okay, so Basically, the game is like top-down, 2D isometric, tile-based, turn-based combat. So you're on tiles, and you move your dudes and you position them, and it's incredibly tactical. And as I said, it's turn-based, but it's sort of like wacky and light-hearted in its graphics. Except it's not a game for kids. It's incredibly violent.
As it should be.
That's
all
part
of their
charm.
games.
Yeah, exactly. And I almost spoiled then, but the narrator is just so funny. But anyway, so you've got this like sort of top-down 2D tactical game, and then you have a team of up to 6 people, and you can also play local co-op, which is amazing. So you can actually have a team of 12. In order to get more dudes, like there's all kinds of different guys you can have, archers, tanks, how can I say, axe throwers. There's like so many. I haven't even found them all yet. And basically, you go out into the world, and it's like a random overworld, and you get into these battles. And what you can do is you can actually, if you kill every other enemy on the enemy team except the last one, you can actually capture them. A bit like, tossing out your Pokeballs and capturing the Pokemans after you beat the crap out of them. Then you enslave them and force them to work for you. And then, make them kill their previous compatriots. And this is exactly how this game works. So you got to catch them all, don't you? Because, there's like hundreds of wacky hats and wacky weapons. And so, we played all Sunday and didn't do anything except go out looking for new dudes to capture, and then capturing them, and then training them up and leveling them up, and finding crazy hats and outfits for them. It's awesome, and I've gotten 40 hours gameplay out of it, and it's
wow,
just the game
that's awesome.
preview.
I was gonna say, how much is it? Do you recall the
$15?
Oh, that's awesome! I'm gonna have to go check that out.
Yeah. And it's not only just 2-player local co-op; it's 2-player online co-op, and you can actually play multiplayer 2v2 online.
Wow,
in
that
the
sounds
pit.
good, actually.
And so when you're playing against other people, it's like incredibly tactical. So if you're on the fence, get this game. If you like Pokemon, if you like Final Fantasy Tactics, if you like Massive Chalice or XCOM or Jagged Alliance or any of those sort of old school 2D top-down isometric games, go and get this right now.
Awesome. That sounds like a lot of fun.
Clay, what about you?
Yeah, top that.
Yeah. I have. Yeah. I have been traveling like a madman lately for work. I haven't been doing a whole lot of gaming, but I did manage to pick up Rhys over the holiday break and have been enjoying the living hell out of that game. It is so brutal.
I'm looking forward to playing it in the games with gold.
Yeah,
Oh,
exactly.
nice.
It'll be next month.
Never give up hope.
Next month, games with
No,
gold.
it just
since I
got announced
bought
today.
It. Yeah.
What?
It got announced today, front page of the subreddit.
No.
Pulling our leg here.
I do this every month, and every month you fall for it.
Yeah, I'm on the front page now. I hate you.
I know. Ooh, and I just saw
day.
on the front page there's a new Rainbow Six Siege map. Oh, I'm looking forward to jumping back in that. Yeah, but Rhys is absolutely amazing. I think I picked it up for $8. It was on sale. $8, $10, $9, something around there. Well worth it, and it's just it's really really fun. And then I'm obviously playing Battlefield, and also picked up Just Cause 3. But haven't played it yet, and really looking forward to jumping back into the Just Cause world of absolutely all-out craziness. But yeah, that's about it lately for me. I have vowed and determined to get through a lot of my backlog this year, so I'm trying each month to go in and play one game and dedicate a lot of time to one game. So I'm going to try and finish Rhys, and then next month I've said I'm going to do Tomb Raider, since I started and never finished that. The first one, never even played the second one, and have that as well. So I'm going to start making my way through my catalog. We'll see if it actually happens.
There's a subreddit for what you just said.
Is there really?
Yeah. It's there was an attempt.
Why am I not surprised?
Talk.
Why am I not surprised?
Will we find out what's happening in the subreddit?
All right, let's find out what's going on this week in the subreddit.
You're listening to Xbox One Party Chat Podcast. This week in the subreddit.
Snap this week's stories on the subreddits. I don't know. Is that what she says?
She's getting more Jamaican by the...
Sean,
Down by the beach.
governor. Like, what are you doing?
Is that Welsh lady Jamaican you happy?
You know what? Clay, you're fired. Let's talk about the most pressing new topic that actually just hit the subreddit today, and that is the first new wave of the first big dashboard content update begins rolling out to insiders today. Did you see it, gentlemen?
Oh, yes.
I did.
Very excited about that.
So, Clay, how about you read to us in your fancy American accent the new features which I have conveniently listed here for you of the creators update.
I actually further detailed each of those after watching Major Nelson's video. So if you've watched Major Nelson's video, I'll be regurgitating a lot of that. So
good.
This is introducing a redesigned guide. So when you're playing your games or watching Netflix or whatever it may be, and you hit the Xbox button, they've done a lot of work to streamline the actual experience there. So now you have direct access to your home screen, your games, your apps, the store, recent games, settings, pins that you might have. You can also directly now go in and take screenshots and do your video clip recordings, or the thing that I'm actually very excited about, you have direct access to streaming options. So if you're a game streamer and you want to jump right into Twitch, you'll be able to do that from that menu. And also they were sort of hinting or alluding at Beam support, which sounds like there might be some early access to trying that out over the next handful of weeks or months, potentially before that rolls out, which I'm very, very much looking forward to. And let's see, what else did they say that was on here? There's some updates to Cortana. She can now set reminders for you. There's also some updates around as well when you're doing the actual update process, it giving you more information around your system being updated and the process and things that it's taking into account for or updating. And then they're introducing co-pilot mode, which allows you to use two controllers for like a one-player game. So this could be used for someone that has a disability, or if my son wanted to play a game and I needed to help him get through a particular task, I could pick up the second controller and assist him with that particular task, which I think is obviously a great thing. So wanted to... Did I miss anything? Rhys, I don't think I missed anything.
You did.
What did I miss?
You missed the fact that they're completely redesigning the homepage.
Oh, yes, that too. That's just a small thing.
Yeah, just a small minor detail.
And I guess the big thing is they were stating that there should be performance improvements with this. So I think everyone's really hoping there's some big improvements around the performance of how the dashboard works and accessing those menus, since it can be a little slow at times.
Well, they've been really pimping this new game mode feature for Windows 10 and the Xbox One, so it'll be interesting to see exactly what that does.
Mm-hmm. You know, it's getting rid of Snap, isn't it? So
basically, yeah, this could be the death of Snap.
Yep. You're going to have to ask that lovely lady, to do another recording then, since we're not going to be snapping this week's episode stories. I don't know. I'm going back to that for some reason.
We
I swear I haven't been drinking.
How about Ross, the voice of reason? What do you think about this?
Fantastic. It makes sense. When the original UI was released and when it was the anniversary update, those were relevant for the time and the software and what they could do to continually move forward, not just sit. That makes perfect sense for me. I can't wait for Beam integration and Larry's video. And it looks as if it's going to be super easy. Obviously, it isn't live at the moment, but it looks as if it's going to be very, very easy to start streaming and moving around apps. It just looks looks sensible. It looks as if they're moving in the right direction. And what we've got to remember is this is a shared UI with the Scorpio later this year. So, well, we assume so anyway. So you can see that they're just going to keep on moving forward with it. But I just want to point out, poor Major Nelson was doing a live stream on Facebook, and he had a new camera, and this was not working out well from when he was announcing all this, because it kept on zooming in on his face or zooming in a proportion of the wall, and you could see the poor man getting slowly and slowly more frustrated by the second. So Larry, it's the first time I've ever seen you under stress of that kind on a live broadcast, but it was pretty funny to watch.
Is that on
Larry.
like YouTube somewhere? I've got to now see this.
I think so.
He was straight away tweeting about it really passive aggressively on afterwards.
Rhys, is there anything in particular of this update that you're really looking forward to?
Me?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, see, I've never really had a problem with the dashboard, if I'm honest. I like the original dashboard, and I like the new dashboard, and I like this one. I think I'm a simple man. I've seen some awful dashboards and awful UIs, and I mean, it's not that hard. Let's be real. So I've never really been fussy, especially seeing as I'm quite happy just to tell my Xbox to open my games and not even have to touch the controller. So I'm not really interested in any of that, but I do like the sound of performance in updates, and I do like the sound of this new beam integration that they're sort of hinting at. That could be quite cool. But the rest of the stuff, it's all nice to have, but doesn't really affect me. Like, for example, I have Cortana turned off because she drives me up the wall.
You know what? I don't have my I don't think I have mine turned on at this point. But yeah.
She's just not responsive enough. Like I use Cortana on my telephone almost every day. Windows Phone, woo! But
I was like, wait, what?
But there's like 7 of us. I updated my phone to Windows Phone 10, and holy crap, this is what it should have been from day one. This is an excellent phone OS, by the way. But anyway, so I use her on my phone. She's a great personal assistant, but she drives me batty when it's on the Xbox. You know, when you're like, hey Cortana, can you please do this one thing that I need you to do on the Xbox? That'd be great, thanks. And then, the moment has passed, and it's like, I'm just going to search the internet for that thing you asked me for. No, just do the thing. Sorry, I'm projecting. So, yeah, I have her turned off. And I know I'm not the only one.
Yes.
No comment.
Yeah, exactly. So, moving on, next topic.
So, this is something that I'm really, really excited about because I absolutely love this game. So, Mass Effect Andromeda.
Adorama?
Andromeda. It's the nearest galaxy to ours.
Andromeda?
Oh no!
Andrew's Media.
You're just inventing letters now.
So Mass Effect Andromeda.
Shepard?
There we go.
Yay. 10-hour trial comes
You're not
to be
Shepard
accessed.
Wait,
5
what?
days.
You're not Shepard.
On March 16th.
No, you're Pathfinder or something.
Sorry, Ross, we're just talking right over you.
Yeah, I'm thinking
For anyone listening at home, this is how not to podcast 101.
To be
Actually,
fair,
this is how we game, though. This is how we talk.
This game.
Look, we're just going to keep talking over each other.
I do not care for this game, so I'm not bothered.
Wait, what?
what?
You just said you were really excited for the game.
Yeah, sarcasm / S.
Wait, what?
Oh,
what? Are you
got
for
me.
real?
That's 2 times.
Did you
today,
never play
Ross.
the other games?
No, not bothered.
That's 2
Tried
times.
2
oh
once.
my gosh.
Nah, not for me.
You got me twice, Ross. Next thing's going to happen is there's going to be puns in the interview.
No, I promise
That's
I'm
not
not
cool,
gonna do
man.
that.
That's
Right,
not
great.
cool.
So,
I gotta get my bio weapon. Bioshock. No, it's Bioshock. Never mind. wrong game. Please
Your
cut
space
this.
magic.
Yeah.
This segment's a train wreck, but I think we should leave it just because
because
it's been so long.
That's right.
But well,
I will definitely be partaking in this. I was a big fan of the 3 previous Mass Effect games. And wait, you're not a shepherd? You're not a long descendant of someone that he or she might have had relations with on that spaceship?
Well,
with every
he
character.
or she had relations with like anyone or anything. Wu-bang, okay, but but I do believe your name is Pathfinder now.
Oh,
That's a stupid
Pathfinder.
name.
That is a stupid name. I think it's Pathfinder. If I'm wrong, someone's going to tell me, but I think it's Pathfinder.
I'm sure.
Well, anyone from EA, we'd love to have you come on the show and talk about Mass Effect after we tell you how stupid your character name is.
Well, actually,
Shepherd.
spoilers, but maybe. But yeah, it's coming
I'm off
early.
that
I mean,
week.
it's not exactly a huge news thing, but it's good. This is how awesome is EA Access?
EA Access
it
is amazing. Also this week was announced that Dead Space Ignition, Madden 17, Skate 3 and Zuma's Revenge are coming soon. And at the same time, they released Battlefield 3 and Bad Company 2 to EA Access in the vault.
Wow. So not only have they finally got Skate 3 back compat, but now it's free, basically, if you own...
I bought it. £7.
Wrecked.
That's like half the price of this EA Access.
I know.
I haven't played Dead Space Ignition, but now I have an excuse.
I don't know what that
Isn't
is.
it? What?
Yeah.
It's like an interactive comic book set in the Dead Space universe.
Sounds quite interesting. I'll definitely have to give that
I
a shot,
wouldn't have paid
considering-
money for it, but for free, hey.
You are paying money for it, really.
Well, yeah,
You're paying about
Am I
2 pence.
really? Am I really, though? I guess.
I'm just got EA Access for my discount off FIFA points. But also this week, something that I am massively excited for.
Oh,
Mass
finally.
Effect, is Cities Skylines is officially going to be shown off at GDC next month. And that comes from user Demon Deity.
Woo! Finland.
Yeah.
So, I'm not familiar with this
Skyline,
game.
I've got
What
it.
is it? Yeah, what is it? What is it?
It's the game SimCity should have been, or the most recent incarnation of SimCity. It is a city builder, mayor type game where you control your city, something that is lacking from the Xbox One. And I can't wait for us to release it, or at least see it next month at GDC.
The reason it's best version is because this one was made in Finland.
That's got nothing to do with it, but okay.
Oh. We're pretty good at making video games up here, actually.
Yeah.
It's
Lots of
cold,
mobile
so
games.
there's nothing else to do. But yeah, no, City Skylines. I actually like city builders. I have a confession to make. I actually really liked the new SimCity. I liked it a
What?
lot. I really enjoyed it. I played like 100 hours.
Wow.
I really liked it. I mean, it was simple, obviously. It was not anywhere near as complex, but I never really gave a toss about that sort of stuff. I just like to build cities, and I had a good time. See, you don't play any of these kinds of games, do you, Clay?
No. SimCity? No, I haven't played SimCity since probably 1993, 94, with one of the original SimCities, and I don't ever care to play another one. That's just how I roll these days. Let's move on. Horseheads, avatars, free items. If you haven't downloaded it, go and get one now. It is one of my favorite avatar items that they put out that is free. And I just wanted to ask you guys, do you guys care at all about avatar items? Or avatars? Xbox
I
avatars?
do for gamer pictures.
Yep.
Because, yeah, I had a couple of items that I bought just so my gamer picture was cool. That's the only reason why I bought it, to be honest with you. So, luckily, in a Pun 3 interview,
It better be.
it is, trust me, we
Is this
now
gluten-free?
have...
Gluten-free interview?
It is gluten-free.
Oh,
Yeah, it's Henrique Olifiers, who is the co-founder and Gamer-In-Chief of Bossa Studios, creator of I Am Bread.
Xbox Snap This Week's Interview.
Hi, everyone, and welcome to this week's interview, the very first interview, in fact, of 2017. Are you excited, Ross?
Oh, I'm always excited, Rhys.
Fantastic. See, that's what I like to hear. We've got an excited Scotsman, and we have today with us Henrique Olifiers, who is the co-founder and quote-unquote here Gamer-In-Chief of Bossa Studios. Bossa Studios are quite well known for two games at the very least, and that is Surgeon Simulator, and they just released I Am Bread on the Xbox One. Henrique, welcome to the podcast.
Hey, thank you very much for the invitation, Rhys. Ross.
You're very welcome, Henrique.
This is a band. This is a band in the making.
Sadly, we need to get rid of Clay and hire someone else whose name starts with R.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, Clayton couldn't join us for the interview because he's got like real life or something.
Work or something like that. Who needs to work?
Yeah, that's lame. But enough about Clay. Henrique, you're the star of the show today, so as I said, welcome. How about you start by telling us a little bit about who you are and what you do at Bossa Studios?
Right, so I am one of the founders of Bossa Studios. I pretend to know what I'm doing and helping everybody do what they are supposed to do. So my job means that I keep people out of trouble so they can be their best at the studio. I've been making games for a few years, and probably many more years than I would like to admit, around 30.
Wow.
Okay.
But I'm most known for Surgeon Simulator and I Am Bread from Bossa.
Now, tell us a little bit about Bossa Studios, like what's its history?
Right, okay, so Bossa started probably 6 years ago. Our first game was called Monster Mind. It was a Facebook game, one of those back in the day. But the idea was, Facebook was a great platform full of your friends in there, and it's a network. So we said, okay, if we make games which are different, probably more hardcore, that could be good for people. So we tried, and we launched the first multiplayer real-time game on Facebook. It won a few awards, and people loved it, but it wasn't for us. So we moved on to PC next with Surgeon Simulator. Now, what everybody asks us is where the ideas come from, right? And this is a very peculiar aspect of Bossa, in that every month we do a game jam internally, and every game that we developed ever since came out of one of those game jams. We throw ideas at the wall to see what sticks.
Okay, because you basically just answered my next question, which was going to be, your company motto on your webpage is, "We make games, not just games. They're different from other games." And I was actually going to ask, like how that came about, but I guess that's it, right?
Yeah, the idea was that I am a retro gamer. I come from a time where any kind of game you could think of, you could make, and people would just respect you for that. Mm-hmm. And I remember very, very well a time around the 2000s where every game out there was either a strategy game or was a first-person shooter, and that's where the indies started to come out. And I was always of the opinion that people shouldn't be defined or should be constrained in their ideas. And this is what beats inside of Bossa. Is this concept that anyone, doesn't matter who they are, can come up with a great game idea, and that becomes our next title. It's very different from traditional studios where you have a creative director or someone that comes with the idea that everybody has to rally behind and make his wish come true. Bossa is very much a democracy in the sense that when we do the game jams, we don't know who will come with the next big game that we're going to make.
So there must be ones that never quite seen the light of day, actually, then. Any that spring to mind that never seen the light of day?
Or just too terrible?
Well, that's the thing. We doing a game jam per month with a team of the size of ours, we end up with 5 or 6 games every month. So we end up a year with 70 games or so, and only 1 or 2 of them actually see the light of day. All the others are killed. And it teaches us that something that's very cool on paper, it's a great idea, not necessarily translates into games, and it makes us think more that our ideas may not be as good as we think they are. So seeing an idea transform into something playable is what makes a big difference. And we have been trained over time, over the past 6 years, to do this in a very fast speed, if you wish.
In that case, I have to basically just segue into the next question. You're saying about choosing the best ideas that actually manage to rise above that 70 and become actual games. And that is, you have just as I mentioned before, released I Am Bread, which has got to be perhaps one of the strangest sounding games ever. Can you explain the premise of the game to any of our listeners who actually might not be aware of what I Am Bread is?
Okay, so I Am Bread is the journey of a very humble slice of bread whose dream is to become toast. So he starts every level in a different part of a house that he is basically haunting, because the owner of the house starts to suspect that his bread is alive. But his objective is to find a heat source so he can become toast. Now, the game idea came from Luke, who was the original game designer of Surgeon Simulator as well. And then he was making breakfast, and he started to wonder, how would bread move if bread could move? And his idea was about, should he just move around the edges of the bread and whatnot? And that's the concept he took into the game jam, the next game jam he had the chance to take part on.
So why should Xbox One players trust you, and why will they loaf this game?
Well,
Yeah.
What?
Well, it is original as it gets. You won't find any other game like that in your library, unless you want Surgeon Simulator. There's some similarities in that. Is infuriating to learn how to control the bread, right? Just as it is to control Nigel's hand. It's different, and I particularly love it because it takes you out of your comfort zone. I love learning new control schemes. I love getting out of the traditional way of playing games and trying something different. I think that's refreshing.
Oh yeah. Can you actually explain then just exactly what sort of goes into making the controls of a game like I Am Bread or Surgeon Simulator? You know, the controls are deliberately really difficult, and it's really hard to actually physically control anything. But that's also simultaneously fun and also incredibly rage-inducing. And I wonder how you sort of strike the balance between fun and fun rage without ever feeling like this game is like broken.
That's a good question. And I think that at the center of the question is you can master it, right? So you feel that, yes, it's difficult, but it's because of the learning curve. I have seen people in both games do things that we never thought it would be possible. I have seen people lob a brain inside of an ambulance, just like he was playing basketball from far away, see that brain flipping on and then hitting the head of Bob, the patient. You couldn't do that in hours and hours of training, but it is possible. So I think is the secret, is making a control mechanism that is complex, yes, but once you master it, you can do stuff that you cannot do with a traditional control method, if you see what I mean.
Yeah, I started playing it today, actually. That's a game that you need to do the tutorial. If you dive straight in there with no tutorial, you're not going to have a clue what to do. But it's amazing how quickly you pick up the control scheme, and I suppose you've probably heard that before, but the similarities to Octodad, and is just getting that part of the brain that you don't usually use to get those fingers moving in a way that you didn't expect. It's ingenious, to say the least.
Oh, thank you very much. Very kind of you.
Well, what I want to know, why bread and not any other baked or savory good?
Bread is the most popular. I think is the one that sells more units in the world, so that's a good marketing ploy for us.
No marketing deals with like any of the big brands then, no?
We did have some retweets from some big bread brands in the UK when we first announced the game.
Really?
Yeah, they were very keen to associate themselves with the game somehow, and we played with them on Twitter. It was pretty fun.
Was this quite a long development time, or did you feel as if you spent most of the time loafing around?
Oh God.
Nice one. No, it was actually a very short development time for the first iteration. We released it on early access 4 months after the prototype has been validated on the Game Jam.
Only 4 months?
Only 4 months. It was a fairly large team. It was already around 10 people, but it took only 4 months to get to early access. And when we got to early access, we already had a schedule roadmap because we knew when we wanted to get out of early access. And that was roughly around 4 months later. And so that to have the game first launched, but then we continued to develop it a little bit more. So we added the Team Fortress crossover, like with the Heavy. We had a crossover with Goat Simulator, where we have Goat in Bread, and Bread has features in Goat Simulator as well. And then we also have the Star Wars, which is a parody of Star Wars.
So I Am Bread has been released on pretty much everything now. So what platform do you think is the most fun to play on? Mobile, PC, console?
It depends. I am a PC player first. I like my gear, my machine, and sitting in front of the monitor. But at the same time, if you can play on a bigger TV and relax on a sofa, I think is a better experience. It's a fun game to watch, as fun as to play, right? So if you have friends and you I don't know, you can make a drinking game out of it if you wish. The console is probably the best place.
And definitely, you've got VR for Surgeon Simulator. Is there going to be virtual reality Toast anytime soon?
No, I don't think so. No, it doesn't lend itself for that. Well, we could attach a camera to the bread, so every time the bread flops, you see the world from a different angle. I think that we will get some people to induce projectile vomiting in less than 5 seconds.
I was going to say you could just call it Simulator Sickness Simulator.
That would. Yeah. Not all that rotation's not for me, and all the ants climbing about you. No.
Oh God, the ants in virtual reality.
True.
Now, I was going to say, now of course you've had Surgeon Simulator, you've now got I Am Bread, which is now available on Xbox One, but can you tell us a little about your upcoming game, Worlds Adrift?
Oh yes, that's a difficult one because there's so much going into it. I've been a MMO player ever since they existed. I played MUDs on old mainframes and so on, and I was a big Ultima Online player. And I found myself, every time I remember good moments in MMOs, it was when something went wrong. Something that was not supposed to happen. And that's the memories I got from those games, right? When someone killed Lord British in Ultima Online using a firewall bug and so on. Those things that shouldn't happen but did happen. And that's what was one of the cores that we wanted with Worlds Adrift. Is a game that it is capable of allowing players in an MMO environment to do whatever the hell they want, right? One of the things that made Surgeon so popular is the fact that when you kill Bob, the patient, you kill him in a way that's only you have done, right? Everybody wins or screws up with the game in a different way. And this is why there's so many millions of videos of the game, because each one is a different one. So we wanted to expand that in an MMO environment. And that's a little bit at what's the core in Worlds Adrift, is the fact that we created the first fully physical MMO where you can subvert the rules of the game. So a way to explain this is that people pictures it. There's these sessions that we do with the players often, and we create ships from scratch, and we fly, and then we start fighting at each other. So the typical way to do this is to heavily plate your ship, put a lot of cannons, engines, and then you have a massive, awesome ship. But we saw these guys in the corner just piling rocks on their deck. They didn't have any cannons, they didn't have any plating, they're just piling a lot of rocks. And we didn't understand what they were doing until the fighting starts. And they fly over us, steal their ship, and rain rocks on top of everybody, right? So nobody saw that kind of strategy before. We didn't code that. That didn't exist in the game until those guys came up with it.
Did it work?
It did work. They nailed everybody.
So you're building more than just a sandbox, really?
Yes, it's more than a sandbox, because it is a sandbox in a sense that there are no fixed objectives, but players create these objectives. If you look at how people play EVE, most of the stuff they do it happens outside of the game, right?
Nothing ever happens in EVE, ever.
Oh. You're on a list now, Ross. There's some very angry people coming to find you.
You shouldn't mess with those guys, man. They are very well organized.
Yeah.
But anyway, this sense that not only you can do anything you want, you can look at a game and wonder, wait a second, if I do this, is that possible? And all of a sudden you have a game that there is. There are no these artificial rules that stop you from interacting with other players in a way that you want and so on. But also even getting rid of some of the old tropes that MMOs bring, some spawning points. People camp and wait for an NPC to pop out of nowhere so they can kill it. Right? That has been done for so many times. In Worlds Adrift, you have an ecosystem. Like creatures feel horny, they mate, they breed, and you have more creatures in the world. And if you kill all of them in a certain area, there's no more creatures there until someone else migrate in. I won't say it's easy to do. It's hard as hell to get an ecosystem balanced. Case in point, we still don't have creatures in the game because the first time around, the males didn't want to mate, so there was no one there. The libido was too low. The second time around, the players killed everybody before they could hatch. So it's a work in progress, if you wish. But we are trying to make something that has never been done in MMOs.
So you need to code better-looking females then.
Yes. Or maybe you spray some perfume on them. I don't know.
I was going to say, mate, it's just going to be like Jurassic Park, and life will find a way.
Oh, God.
Yeah, I wish it would be like that, but it hasn't been like this in Worlds Adrift so far.
So, Henrique, are you familiar with Rocket League? Do you guys play it?
I am familiar with Rocket League, yes. Most people in the studio play it and play it quite a lot. And there's a lot of swearing involved as well.
Oh, obviously, but what I want to ask is, if you're familiar with Rocket League, are you familiar with what they dubbed #Breadgate?
I heard that one before. And, it's a shame that I met Dave once. We had dinner together. But I didn't know about Breadgate. It had happened before, but I didn't know about it. I came to know afterwards, so I missed the chance of poking fun and making him feel very uncomfortable.
No. Okay, so if any of our listeners don't know, the president of Psyonix, who make Rocket League, David Haywood, he famously and very, very outspokenly hates bread. He hates it. And he talks about how much he hates bread at every opportunity. And in fact, he made a bet, or he made a promise that if Rocket League managed to get more than 10,000 simultaneous players at once, he would, quote unquote, eat a bunch of bread. And of course, they nailed that target, and he had to eat bread live on stream, and he was putting it off forever. And now I'm really sad that this opportunity could have been, never did.
I know, right? I don't know what's wrong with him. I don't know what kind of trauma caused that, because I never met anyone who doesn't like bread.
No,
Never.
It's true. Like, bread and water are the staple diets of most people.
I know two people who don't like water. They don't drink water. I know, right? It's weird. They have to put something in the water so they're capable of drinking it. But pure water, they don't. They can't. But bread, I've never seen.
So does this hatred of bread make you feel like physically sick? Do you want to fly over and bash some heads? Or?
Oh, yes. I'm pretty sure we're going to run into him again, and then we'll have some words.
So, official statement then from Bossa Studios. Will you continue to openly support Psyonix after this revelation?
Well, okay, I will. It's a good game. I think that the game trumps Dave's. I think, yeah, I will.
Sorry, hard-hitting journalism here on the Potty Chat podcast.
Now, back to I Am Bread. Just to say, now the end is right for I Am Bread, or should we expect more carb-heavy games in the future?
Oh, God. Where do you get these puns?
Ages to write. They're just off the top of my head. Just off the top of my head.
Yeah, you are in a row. Right? Okay. I think we're gonna continue with Bread some more, because there's so much love for the game. We are up on our necks with Worlds Adrift right now, and there's another game we're gonna get out soon. After that, we're probably gonna revisit both Bread and Surgeon. I think they're too close to our hearts, but we have to take the multiplayer. I think that the single player days of both those games are over.
But I just have to sort of jump in here, because you said that there's a lot of love for I Am Bread, but if anyone searches I Am Bread on YouTube, they're going to see the opposite of love being displayed. I think
there are many ways that love manifests itself in many different ways. Rhys.
Yes, that's a good answer. I think I watched. I think it was Markiplier try to play this game, and oh my lord, I was in tears at his frustration.
Well, the best video I have from Markiplier was when he was playing Surgeon Simulator on iPad in an ice in an ice bath. And
In an ice bath?
Yeah, he tried to play it, and he filled the bath with ice, went in to play Surgeon Simulator, and halfway through he dropped his iPad inside the bath.
Oh.
Wouldn't it be nice to have money? Just to be able to risk an iPad?
Like, the one testament you can get from me is when I was playing the game earlier on, my 6-year-old was in fits of laughter watching this bit of bread trying to make its way to the toaster. He absolutely adores watching it, and I was getting some special moments with my son tonight, so I thank you for that.
Nice.
Oh, that's nice to hear. Thank you, Ross. Thanks for sharing that.
And I'm really sorry about all the obvious buns in this interview as well.
Ross, ask the last question of this gentleman so we can get out of here and I can slap you around behind camera.
Well, just to ask, there is one serious journalistic question that we do ask every single one of our guests. And I hope you're ready for this. But which classic video game character would you knock out with one punch?
That is easy.
Oh.
Jet Set Willie.
Oh, why?
Oh.
He's drunk. Everybody can punch a drunk.
I was going to say, you live in the UK, you must see a lot of drunks.
If I have to pick someone to punch, you put me in this situation, I will pick someone that I can take down with one punch, and a drunk is an easy target. Come on.
Well, I mean, it's not so bad. I mean, Major Nelson said Frogger.
Yeah.
Yeah. He went there.
Yeah. Although Frogger is a very large frog. If you compare him to the vehicles and so on.
Holy crap!
Also, the vehicles never overtake each other.
I don't think he thought that through.
No. He just blew my mind. He's the same size as a semi-truck.
There you go.
That is a big-ass frog. Wow. Larry, I have to talk to Larry about this.
Yeah.
He's bit off more than he can chew. But, Henrique, I think that's just about all the time we have for this interview. Thank you for being such a good sport and for joining us today. Oh,
no worries, Rhys. Thanks for the invitation. Anytime.
No, it was fantastic. Hopefully, we can have you on here one day. For the Xbox One port of Worlds Adrift.
Fingers crossed.
Just to say that we all hope that I Am Bread does rise to the top and is a huge success on Xbox One, as we know that you need dough to live.
Oh, thank you so much.
You had to get that last one in right at the end, didn't you, Ross? Carry
on, Ross. I'm loving this. Go on.
Not as if you've never heard any of these before.
Yeah, well.
But yeah, thanks a lot, Henrique.
Thanks, folks.
So that is us with that interview. Thank you very much, Henrique. And that was entirely pun-free, which you'll be glad to hear, Rhys.
Thanks, Ross.
No problem whatsoever. Now, there's one last story I want to go over, and that is the fact that one very special game went gold this week, and of course, that is Halo Wars 2. Guys, it's one of my most anticipated titles for the coming year, and I want to get your thoughts. Is this something you're looking forward to?
Well, I talked about this in just the other episode, and I am looking forward to it, but I want to hear what you have to say, Clay.
Yeah, these types of top-down strategy games are typically not my cup of tea, but I would certainly play it. I would give it a try. It looks, even the first one absolutely looked amazing. I have some friends that were utterly obsessed with it, so all depending on who's picking it up, I might end up picking one up and trying it out.
There's a beta going on right now. You can go in and try it right now.
For free?
Yep.
Oh, free?
Yep.
Oh, shoot.
Yep.
All right, I'll look at that tonight.
Yeah.
Hey, Cortana, can you remind me to check out the Halo 2 beta later tonight? I don't have a Cortana.
Nice.
Sorry.
But wait, it's funny, but this is the first exclusive, of the year. I know it's coming to Windows 10 as well with Play Anywhere, but do you know something? That is actually a bit of a selling point to me because of the PC. I've got a bit of a trip coming up. I'm going to be going on a train for 10 hours over 2 days, basically, there and down, or over 3 days. Something like that I can buy on one console and play somewhere else is that's a massive selling point to me.
I think it should be a selling point to everyone. That's fantastic.
You know, if you've got the hardware for the machine, then why not? It's great.
2 games
Hey,
for
Ross?
the price of 1.
Ross, do they have planes there where you live?
Oh,
I like a train. Plus cost. No, but I do
I'm
like
sure.
getting the train because of that reason.
why would you fly the airplane from Scotland to England? Like, it's not far.
It's like 5 hours on a train from Glasgow to London, okay? And if you
that's
want
not
to look
bad.
at it this way, it takes me right into the central London, okay?
Mm-hmm.
If I fly, I'm miles outside London and I have to end up getting a train in anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So by the time you take all that into consideration, I'm just as quick getting the train as what I'm flying.
The train from
It's
Victoria
weird.
to Gatwick is like an hour.
Plus it's £20.
Yeah.
My whole ticket from Glasgow to
that's
London
good.
was £20.
It's true.
But
Plus, you got a lot of gaming
it's-
time on the train.
Well, that's it. So something like Halo Wars 2, I can sit, play on the train, and I plan to finish off Recore while I'm on the train as well, just so that it's something for me to do. And I love it. Bring my Elite controller, get it hooked up wirelessly to my laptop, and sit and play all these great Xbox games. What a time to be alive.
Right. But on that positive note, gentlemen, I think that's all the time we have today.
It is.
Clay, welcome back.
Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back.
I'm really wondering why I missed you so much.
Yeah, I don't know. We all question that from time to time. But it's great to be back, gentlemen, and looking forward to speaking with everybody next week.
You want to take
Take us out here, Clay.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. A Xbox, turn yourself off, please.
You're listening to Xbox One Party Chat Podcast, the official podcast of the Xbox One subreddit.
Let's do this.
Yeah, it's Henrique Olifiers, who is the co-founder and Gamer-In-Chief of Bossa Studios, creator of I Am Bread.
You know, you just like doubled up on what I said at the beginning of the
carbs.
interview.
Yeah, I know.
Double it up
So,
with double McGum and Ross and Rhys. Double the fun.